Let's look at some Unclassrooms really quick. This is mad scientist Paul. What's his name? Paul. Mad scientist Paul. He teaches in Montana. Where does he teach? Montana. He teaches AP Biology. The kids that are taking the AP Biology exam have jumped about 50 to 60% since he started this thing that we're going to show you. The scores themselves have jumped 20 to 25% on average on the AP exam. So he's got the attention of a lot of people, and they're coming to his classroom and saying, what are you doing? Basically, short version, this is what he does. His class is designed like Angry Birds. How many of you played Angry Birds? Anybody play it in the last 24 hours? A couple people. Anybody doing it right now? No. And that's how it's set up. Basically, what he's done is all of his modules, all of his units, the kids go through and master at their own pace. When they get done, they go back and remaster them. He gets alerts when they're not mastering them. So he's literally walking around like a facilitator because he's got it all packaged and ready to go. What he did was he said, what do my kids do the most? And then he said, how can I make my classroom more like that? All right. Here's a tech tip from him. Use technology to turn your learning activities into modules that students can master and then remaster. I think that has a lot to do with their performance on the AP Biology exam. They got through it all. They can get extra points for going back and doing it again and again and again. They've revisited the content. They've not only mastered it, they've remastered it. Okay? This is Joe Maciello. What's his name? Teaches in Delaware. And they're mastering the words that they have to know for the ACT and the SAT. He wants to do some other things with them, but his administrator came to him and said, hey, Joe, I've got a really important job I'd like you to do. We're not scoring as well as we'd like to on the verbal part of these exams. Can you find a way to help accelerate this and make sure that the kids master it? He's a 6th grade teacher, and they're already working on those ACT, SAT terms. They do. So here you go. This is how they accelerate it, and this is how it sticks.
Lugubrious, antithesis, copious, capitulate, dubious, sanguine, accolade, whatever, archaic, mendicant, matriculate, enigma, nefarious, pernicious, affable, integral, infinitesimal, contiguous, arduous, concise, hiatus, parsimonious, convivial, konnichiwa, loquacious, hapless, ostentatious, mediate, emulate, prodigious, antiquated, autocratic, lucid, frugivorous, mendacious, inane, mundane, capricious, adulation, nebulous, recant, paltry, petulant.
Good job. Here's your teaching tip. We use music, movement, and non-linguistic representations to improve learning. Go. All right, little quiz. What is being used? I'm going to give you an example of something that happened, and when it's done, I need you to figure out what thing or what things are being used from the pyramid. Ready? My kid comes home at the dinner table, and he turns to his brother and he says, hey, want to know how a bill becomes a law? And at this point, his parents drop a plate and drop a fork and look at the table, because never in the history of a household that we know of has this happened. Whenever you ask kids, what did you learn at school today? What's their answer always? Nothing. And so without any prompting, he turns to his brother and proceeds to tell him how a bill becomes a law. And so next day, I emailed his teacher and said, how did you teach the steps of a bill becoming a law? And this is what she said. Oh, it was easy. They walked in, upper right-hand corner, and we started by singing, I'm just a bill. Da, 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 da. Remember Schoolhouse Rock? Watched it once. Second time, they sang along with the subtitles at the bottom. Then they had all kids, my kid included, come up with a ridiculous idea that they thought should become a law in the country. And so my kid said, I think everybody should have a porcupine as a pet. She said, that's fine. And then from there, she had them walk through the steps of a bill becoming a law in the room. They had some helpers that day, and they went to each step, and they did it. They did it twice. A little repetition as well. Now, what's different about that? Here's the question. Which one or which